Alright guys, so here's my 2005 Ford F-150, and I've been having a pretty serious vibration problem with it, and the thing that sucks is I'm pretty far away from home too. I live in New York, but I'm at school in Indiana. And the problem I'm having is when I'm from a stop, when when the truck is stopped and I go to accelerate to, 5-10 miles an hour and I cut the wheel real hard right or left, I'm getting a real serious vibration. It's been bugging the crap out of me because I haven't been able to figure it out. So originally I suspected it was something from the front end. I replaced my upper control arms because that ball joint was bad on both sides. That had to be done. I did replace my front strut assembly. I got these ready struts. And I also do have a 3-inch leveling kit up here. And I kind of suspected maybe it's because that leveling kit pushes that, the front suspension down so far that the CV joints were binding. So I jacked up the front end and, I started spinning the tires and, I didn't have any binding, so I figured, well, it can't be that, even though I know these leveling kits put, kind of extra stress on the joints on the CV shaft. So I also thought it was the bearing. I spun this side, the bearing was fine. The bearing on the other side was kind of rough, so I did replace that bearing. Also, when I was under here, I was checking my CV axles, and the boot on this side had been kind of torn right there, and there was grease kind of flung everywhere, so I did replace my CV axles. The same thing happened on the other side. Quick note about those CV axles. I was originally going to buy the ones from Ford for, I think they wanted like $300 a piece, something crazy like that. I ended up getting remanufactured ones from Napa, which I like much better because they come with a 3-year warranty, which is probably just as good as Ford. And they were only like $58 a piece. And they also have the Ford Motorcraft stamp on there, so you know that they're OEM parts. They're just remanufactured, and they have the 3-year warranty, so you can't go wrong with that. So after that didn't solve my problem. It made that front right side a little quieter, which was kind of nice because that bearing was bad, but that still didn't solve the problem. So next, I thought it could be an alignment issue, but right after I did that new strut and leveling kit, I got an alignment done probably a week after, just to make sure that that strut kind of settled, and that wasn't it either. So I started looking, well, maybe it's the tires. All my tire wear was even on either side, so I did a tire rotation and still had the same problem. And then I kind of did all the things I could think of. Then I went onto the World Wide Web, and my rear axle is a 9.75 differential, and it's also a limited slip differential. So the first thing I did, I stuck my finger in the fill cap right there, and I pulled my finger out, and the oil was just nasty. It was like dirt water. I don't think it had been changed since I owned it. So I went ahead and I replaced that with some synthetic oil. You look in your owner's manual, it'll give you all the specifications. I also added 2 things of friction modifier, because I was reading online that sometimes the clutches in these will wear out. So I went through that, and still I was having the same problem. So this past weekend, I ended up jacking both sides of the truck up. That side was jacked up all the way with the jack stand, but I ended up lowering that side, and I'll tell you in a minute. So I put the truck in drive, and I had somebody in there, and I came out and I was just kind of inspecting carefully away from the truck, and I was looking and listening for any kind of weird noises. The bearings on my rear axles do kind of sound, they sound a little iffy, but they all seem fine for right now. They are going to need to be replaced within the next year. But then I was really starting to suspect it had to be either something transmission related, or my transfer case, or something with the differential gears. Now, when I drained the oil out of there, I never saw any metal shavings, so I figured, well, it can't be that. But the oil was so dirty. So I I was really starting to suspect that. So again, I ended up jacking up both sides. I had somebody put it in park, and you know, I was listening, and I really didn't hear anything out of the ordinary, you know, just sounded pretty normal. And so the next thing I did, because I remember when I have this problem, is when I turn really hard to the right or the left, and it's from a stop going forward. So I ended up lowering that side, and this side, the driver's side, rear axle is still suspended off the ground. So now, to figure out if the clutches in my limited slip differential are the problem, I'm going to start the truck right now. I'm going to put it in drive, and I'm going to ease off the brake pedal, and I'm going to see if I feel vibration. If I do, then, you know, lo and behold, that's my problem. There we go. Put it in drive. Let you take a look at this water bottle here to kind of gauge the vibration. I'm easing off the brake pedal. I don't know if you can hear that, but you can. I'm going to give it a little more gas. See, it kind of goes away at kind of higher speeds. I'm going to apply the brake pedal again. Feel it really hard right now. You can see the water bottle vibrating a little bit more. Brake pedal off. You can kind of see that vibration. Brake pedal back on. Wheel stopped. Taking brake pedal off. Right there. Kind of those low speeds. Even when I give it a little gas, I can kind of feel kind of this weird vibration. So, lo and behold, that's my problem. Also, something very common, if you ever do this, while you have the rear end jacked up and your front tires aren't spinning, it's very common for the brake light or the ABS light to come on, so, you know, don't worry about that. But yeah, that's my problem, and I know it's a pretty big mechanical job, especially something to do while I'm away from home, so fortunately this is something I may just have to take into a transmission shop or somebody that can take care of that differential. So that's how to troubleshoot a vibration on a 04 to 2008 Ford F-150 with a limited slip differential. And that, again, that vibration is from basically a stop to 5 or 10 miles an hour when I'm cutting the wheel really hard to the left or the right. So I hope this video helps, and thanks for watching.